I have to. It's just
The opening.
I got it.
You sure?
Yes. I have it pulled up. That's how I was just read that to say you're fine. Okay. So
We're good.
okay. It is 4:01 and we will call the meeting to order. Senator, can you lead us in the pledge?
Ready to begin?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh. Yep. All right, roll call, let it be known all three, board members are here, Mr. Eastless, Mr. Perea, and myself, Mr. Heldred. We will move on to business from the floor. The board meeting is a business meeting of the board held in a public forum to comply with the Brown Act. It is not a town hall meeting with the board. This is a time for citizens to present problems or questions they feel the board should discuss. Individuals are encouraged to address the full board, not individual board members. The law prohibits the board from taking action on items not on the agenda. Request to speak cards should be filled out in advance and presented to the superintendent's executive assistant. Instructions for submitting remote public comments can be found on our website, BUSD K-12, under the tab Board of Trustees. The board has a policy limiting any speaker to not more than 3 minutes. The board limits the total time for public input on each item or topic to 15 minutes for 5 individual requests to speak. The president may review the submitted request to speak or take a poll of the speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that additional persons speak only if they have something new to add. Citizens who have comments on or against a particular issue may be asked to provide a written statement for the record or to sign in agreement with the written comments of another citizen. All names will be memorialized in minutes. With the board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. For the record, please state your name. Do we have any?
No, it's done.
All right, and at this time, it is 4:04 and we'll adjourn for the session.
A lot can change in 5 years, but the price of your internet plan won't. With
Want to hand off your taxes? Get more from your tax expert and spend less.
Intoxicated, I got a legend on the way. I'm falling for you, baby. What can I do to make you stay? The baseline's taking over. We've come too far to turn around. So turn the music louder and let my feet not touch the ground. Cause I'm in a daze and you're driving me crazy. Please can you stay even just for the night? I'm losing my way, but don't try to contain me. Cause I'm still running out. Cause I'm in a daze and you're driving me crazy. Please can you stay even just for the night? I'm losing my way, but don't try to contain me. Cause 'cause I'm still running wild. Running wild. Oh yeah. Running wild. Oh yeah. Running wild. Oh yeah. Running wild. Oh yeah. Running wild. Running wild. Oh yeah. Running wild. Running wild. Oh yeah. You're making me colder. You make me wanna settle down, down. Get married and have a daughter, and live forever sweet and sound. But if I'm moving too fast for you, tell me honestly, what should I do? And if we're grooving too soon, let the playlist make the move. 'Cause I'm in a daze and you're driving me crazy. Please can you stay even just for the night? I'm losing my way, but don't try to contain me. 'Cause I'm still running wild. I'm in a daze and you're driving me crazy. Please can you stay even just for the night? I'm losing my way, but don't try to contain me. 'Cause I'm still running wild. Running wild. Oh yeah. Wild. Oh yeah. Running, running wild. Running wild. Oh yeah. Running, running wild. Running wild. Oh yeah.
Since 1888, the National Geographic Society has championed generations of explorers to illuminate the
It was so damn worth to wait every second, every day, to wait for you to hold my hand. And there is so much more to say. I could kiss you for a lifetime, stay awake to watch you sleep, fell in love with your sweet smile. You're my love and you're my life. You're my love and you're my life. And you're my life. You're my love and my life. It was so damn worth the pain. Sleepless nights and countless days. You're my sun after the rain. Oh, babe, there's so much more to say. I protect you for a lifetime, keep you warm and keep you safe. Fall in love with your sweet eyes. You're the love of my life.
You're the love of my life. Song on Spruce Street made me smile like Gucci sweet. I bet I could get her number sometime. She was just standing there as I walked away. I should have said hi. I thought to myself, oh, way better than one before. Got a vibe from just looking at her eyes, and I can't stop, can't get her off my mind. Oh, so, oh, if I look back, will I ever forget those eyes? Yeah. City is too bright at night. I need to get away, think I need some time, 'cause she's on my mind. And I know this time I felt too hot, too fast, maybe a bit too far. This is always right. Yeah, I think I fell for a stranger. Yeah. Go home, look up the gram, trying to guess her name, but no luck there, so I move on back. Huh. Go back to the place we met. Can I guess? I'm pretty sure I'm hopeless. Yeah. Oh, way better than one before. Got a lot from just looking at us, and I can't stop, can't get her off my mind. Oh, so if I look back, will I ever forget those eyes? Yeah. City is too bright at night. I need to get away, think I need some time, 'cause she's on my mind. And I know this time I felt too hot, too fast, maybe a bit too far. First kiss is always right. Yeah, I think I fell for a stranger. Yeah.
It's 2025, and you're still using the same cable network? Frontier Fiber.
look at it, realize we never had it. That's how it goes. I forget it and go, yeah. I never wanna hold back or forget that. Forget this, let's just move on, forget that. I never wanna know what you've been up to. Yeah, you see, you have been on my mind this whole time. I never wanna stay low at night. And you see, you have control of my mind this whole time. I never wanna feel alone again at night.
I just came out with my first memoir, Source Code, which is all about the early experiences that shaped me. In it, you'll learn about how I learned to play cards from a legend, my grandmother, the ways I drove my orderly, put-together mother crazy, why I wrote 177 pages about the state of Delaware, the time I brought a cow lung to school and made a girl faint, the first time I used a computer, first time I asked a girl out, when I enrolled at Harvard, when I dropped out of Harvard, and the people who supported and challenged me along the way. Read about all of this and more in Source Code, available February 4th.
Switch to 5G home internet and get a 5-year price guarantee. Plans start at just $35 a month, only on Verizon.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Now this is taxes. File free in the app by 2/18. When you switch to TurboTax, do it yourself.
Knock, knock. Hi there. I'd love to show you what a K-12 powered school is really like. Step inside. Here, you can dive into subjects you love, move as fast or as slow as you need to, and let your learning soar. Cool. You'll connect with teachers and classmates, explore your interests, and learn great skills for the future. Hey, know what else is knocking? Opportunity. Discover yours. Now enrolling.
with the show. To the O.
I'm drowning from my own regime.
Okay, you're good to go. Welcome to Frontier. Awesome, thank you. In my lifetime, I will own 44 cell phones.
I'm falling through this empty space of me. All alone, I feel the darkness trapping me inside. All alone, I can't combat this. Bring me out alive. 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 Let's go.
Yeah. Ready? All right, it's 5 o'clock. We'll call the meeting back to order. There was no actions to report from closed session. We'll move on to approval of the minutes.
No minutes.
No minutes. All right, business from the floor. The board meeting is a business meeting of the board held in a public forum to comply with the Brown Act. It is not a town hall meeting with the board. This is a time for citizens to present problems or questions they feel the board should discuss. Individuals are encouraged to address the full board, not individual board members. The law prohibits the board from taking action on items not on the agenda. Requests to speak cards should be filled out in advance and presented to the superintendent's executive assistant. Instructions for submitting remote public comments can be found on our website, usdk12.com, under the tab Board of Trustees. The board has a policy limiting any speaker to not more than 3 minutes. The board limits the total time for public input on each item or topic to 15 minutes or 5 individual requests to speak. The president may review the submitted request to speak or take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that additional persons speak only if they have something new to add. Citizens who have comments on or against a particular issue may be asked to provide a written statement for the record or to sign an agreement with the written comments of another citizen. All names will be memorialized in minutes. With board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. For the record, please state your name. Do you have any?
No, sir.
Okay. Any reports?
No reports.
Okay. Adoption of the agenda.
Motion.
Can I get a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any presentations, recognitions, no communications or consent? All right. Discussion items. General L11, appointment of employee member to the Personnel Commission.
And I'm going to hand this over to Mr. Ortiz.
Yes, good evening, board members and staff, and members of the public. This item is to memorialize the appointment of a vacancy we had on the Personnel Commission for one of our commissioners. Term expired. This it requires by EDCA. There's the sections are over there memorialized in the background and information. It's something that needs to be formalized here with the board. We submit the letter that was submitted to us by CSEA, and you need to approve it. %. And I don't know if there's any other questions, but Mr. Gilbert Siles is here. He's a former employee, retired, and he will be our next commissioner moving forward as when he is sworn in and seated at our next.
Any questions, comments?
No, I just, welcome aboard, Gilbert, you know, a little premature here, but, I've known Gilbert, God, 60 some years. He says what he says and he means what he means. And, we talked a lot about, district policies when we were both employees and now we're here and let's see if we can get something done. Welcome aboard, Gilbert. Thank you for signing up. Thank you very much.
Yes, welcome, Gilbert. Welcome.
All right, welcome, sir.
Motion.
Motion?
I move, we approve Gilbert.
Sure. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we will move L12, board member appointment interviews, trustee area 5, and I'll turn it over to Ms. Frank.
Yes, thank you. Here we are again. Good afternoon. Today we will conduct interviews to appoint a new board member for trustee area 5 and a second round interview for trustee area 1. These appointments will be for 2-year terms, after which the position will be elected in November 2026 to complete the original 4-year term, which was from 2024 to 2028. Our board is committed to ensuring that this process is fair and transparent. To uphold this standard, we will begin with Area 5 and draw names to determine the order of interviews. The remaining candidates for Area 5 will then wait in the lobby of the district office during this process to ensure no one gains an advantage by overhearing previous discussions. Area 1 candidates are welcome to stay in the boardroom during this time. Each candidate will have a total of 30 minutes for their interview. This time will include an opening statement, answers to questions posed by board members in a round robin format, and a closing statement. A timer will indicate when there is 1 minute remaining, and again at the end of the full interview period. After the interviews, all candidates will be invited back into the boardroom to join the audience. The voting process will use a roll call ballot for nominations. I will call upon each board member to indicate their chosen candidate. It is important to note that for a candidate to be nominated, they must receive 3 votes. When a candidate has been selected, I will make an announcement and hand the proceedings over to Mr. Heldreth for a motion and second regarding the nominee, followed by a vote for appointment. Upon approval, I will administer the oath of office to the appointee, who will then take their seat at the dais. We will then begin the process with the second round interviews for Area 1 by drawing names for interview order, and the newly seated board member will be included in the interview process. If the board does not reach a majority vote for a nominee for Area 5, I will allow a brief period for deliberation before I call for the vote again. In the event a nomination is not made this evening, we will invite candidates back for a second round of interviews on Thursday, February 6, 2025 at 5 o'clock. If the board does not reach a majority vote for a nominee for Area 1, I will allow a brief period for deliberation before I call for the vote again. In the event a nomination is not made for this evening, we will invite candidates back for a third round of interviews on Thursday, February 6, 2025 at 5 o'clock p.m. Thank you for your attention, and let's proceed with the interviews.
We have Jared, Leonard, and Cheryl.
Who can stick their hand in that?
I think we're gonna have hold on, the sticky side is up. They don't train you how to do this. We'll go with Mr. Ortiz. Straight in and grab a name, please. And Mercedes, if you could grab one too, please.
Leonard will be number 1.
Jerry?
Jerry will be number 2.
And then Cheryl, you will be 3rd. Then it's gonna. Sir? Okay. Give me 1 second. Starting the timer. Sorry.
I apologize. It's a process.
It is.
Okay. Mr. Williams?
Good
evening.
Good evening.
You're free to start with an opening statement if you'd like.
Well, I'd like to say a little about myself, who I am. My name is Leonard Williams. Been a Barstonian since 2009. I wasn't born and raised here, but I moved here in 2009, and for some odd reason I fell in love with it. Don't know why, but it just happened. Um, I am a retired Army veteran. Served 21 years in the Army. Um, I work very closely with kids in this community. I am the past president of Kiwanis of Barstow, and I am also the lieutenant governor-elect of Division 36 of Kiwanis, Nevada, Hawaii, California region. I am the executive director of Barstow Youth Sports Coalition. And what our mission is we believe that no child should be deprived of playing any type of sport that they want, whether it's male or female, whether it's dance or football or baseball, because of the socioeconomic standing of the family. So what we do, we sponsor kids in all these programs, all independent sports across the board here in the city of Barstow, which calls for a lot of work, which I fundraise continuously 7 days a week. But I enjoy it. It's a joy. I just love it. I always say my work starts when I get off of work at 3:30 until I go home and go to bed 9, 10 o'clock, whatever time. Because my goal is to come up with programs, keep these kids active here in the community. Very important. Keep the kids active. And I'm constantly, thank God I do have a board because I'm a good idea guy and they kind of bring me back sometimes. I think I can do anything. So, I am the vice president of the Desert Sanctuary, the domestic violence shelter. I'm the vice president of the board. I'm a board member of Barstow Community Coalition. I'm a member of the Chief of Police Advisory Board. So that's me. I do a lot of things in this community because I love this community, and I think on this, we train these kids young, they can grow to be outstanding young men and women in our community, in our society.
Thank you. All right, well, we'll start in with the questions. What motivates you to want to become a board member?
Motivation is the kids. Yeah, as you see, I do a lot with kids. I do a lot with kids on the sports side. But I also believe we have to give the kids every opportunity, whether it's sports or education. And I combine the two together. I make sure that the kids go to school to be able to play sports. It's a hard task. Sometimes you have to say no, but I make sure that I want to make sure that these kids have every opportunity that we as a community can offer.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams, what attributes are essential for success for a school board member?
I think the number one attribute is the listener. A lot of people like to be heard. And a lot of times we have a tendency to listen to answer something. But I believe we should listen to understand. Understand. You can sit, you don't have to say a word, but people feel so much better that you listen. And I think that is the number one thing that as a board we should be as an attribute. You have to be able to listen.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Williams. What do you think is expected of you as a board member?
Honesty, trustworthiness, be on time, that's very important. Be where you're supposed to be. Set the example, very, very important. Set the example for not just myself, but fellow board members and the community that I live in. I find that to be very important to me. Honesty, trustworthiness, that's what I live by. And, you know, that's the first thing I go to. You have to prove me. You have to prove me, but not to trust you. Because I'm automatically give you my trust.
How would you handle requests if approached by an individual in the community or special interest group?
I handle that all the time. First of all, as a member, if you're a member of a board, you can't promise or tell them that this is going to happen. You know, my personal opinion as a board member, you know, I would listen, of course, but then I'd bring it back to the superintendent and let them handle it, let them do what they're supposed to do.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams, what is your vision for education in this community?
I've always been a firm believer that the school district and the parents need to work together for better education for their kids. It's you can't just rely on the school to do it. Yeah, the school has their role, but so does the parents. Very, very important. I was very active in my kids' education. It's like my dad was extremely active in mine. But you got to work together. It's a union. You know, you hear all the time, well, you know, you're supposed to teach them, teach them. You know, sometimes you want to jump off and say, you're supposed to parent and parent. But, you know, we can't say that. And that goes back to listening, understanding what the dynamic there is, and working together for better education for our kids.
What are the current challenges facing education / school board
today? Well, like I said, the collaboration between parents and the school district, we see it all the time. We expect, sometimes parents expect the school district to do everything. You know, teachers and administrators have a tough job to do. You know, we're mentors, they teach them, they're a counselor, they do everything. But we also need to have the parents involved. And that is a hard thing, especially in our community. You know, as a low income community, we have to be able to get out there and talk to these parents, get them involved. Number one thing, nothing is going to be successful if the other side isn't involved. Can't be a one issue. But we got to do the best that we possibly can. That's important.
What is your role, or sorry, what is your understanding of the role of the superintendent?
Oh, he or she has the job. They are the administrator. They are the captain of the ship. We steer it, they captain it. As I tell people all the time, they are the city manager of the school district. They run the day-to-day, everyday things that's going on in the school district. So they do it all. The superintendent has a massive.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams, what do you see as the board's roles and responsibilities?
The board's role, we set the policies, we make sure that we set the policies, we make sure that the district is abiding by all the rules and regulations that is passed down to us through the superintendent. We make sure that we're fiscally sound, that we, number one priority, of course, is our kids, that they have the best education they could possibly have, you know, and based off of their abilities. So the board plays a major role, and plus we are also a representative of the people of the community itself, people in the community, in each of our districts, and the community as a whole. So very, very.
If appointed, will you seek to continue as a trustee in the next election?
Yes, sir. 100%. You know, I always reach for a lot of things, but my passion have always been kids. And, you know, everybody has always told me, you just put one for school. I'm trying to do other things. You know, sometimes it takes getting ahead to, okay, you're right. You're absolutely 100% right. This is what I should be doing, not worrying about all that.
Is there any additional information you would like to share with the panel?
As you see, I do a lot for this community. I do a lot for the kids of this community because I think they're number one. We got to, if we can keep our kids straight and put them in, point them in the right direction, these kids can do anything. Again, it takes a little listening. It takes people to understand that child. And it's hard when you have a big school district. But, you know, have good teachers, good administrators, and understanding the needs of the community, the needs of the kids. We can't go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Get right to the front of the car.
Mr. Nichols, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Hi. Sorry.
It's okay, go ahead. We're gonna start the timer at 30 minutes, and you may start with an opening statement if you like.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you. My name is Jared Nichols. Tonight, I'm fortunate enough to be joined by my wife, April Nichols, back there. My wife, 22 years. I'm a longtime resident. I wish I could say lifetime resident, but I've been here since I was 4, so pretty much all I've ever known. Been through the entire Barstow schooling system from Skyline, Montera, Barstow Middle School, which is now the current Fine Arts Academy, and of course Barstow High School, as is my wife and both of our children. It's been a great town. I think it's turned us into a really productive and great family. We've been able to give back to this community. I've also been a teacher for, this is my 20th year in education. I've taught from middle school math, high school computer science, computer summer school, also wherever I'm available. As I mentioned earlier, my children are proud graduates of Barstow High School. My son is currently working on his PhD at UCLA, and we give credit to the education he got from Barstow High School. My daughter is pursuing her bachelor's degree in computer animation up in Chico State, and again, she got that inspiration from this school. As I mentioned already, this community has been really good to us, and as a longtime resident, it's always been goal or a pipe dream to kind of be a board member in this community. And, I've talked to other teachers in my district who are also board members, and I was like, yeah, I could see myself doing that one day. And it was always a 10 years down the road type goal or whatever, just something that was pushed off to the side. And then when I saw that there was a vacancy, it kind of just ignited that passion in me. And so, the closer I've gotten to this interview, the more I want to do this. And so I've poured over preparing myself for this situation. As I mentioned, I am a 20-year educator. My actual education experience started in this district. I was an avid tutor back in 98, 99, right after I graduated from high school. I did my credential observations in Miss Carrie O'Neill's class over in Montera and Miss Michelle Enriquez's class in Henderson. So I was able to take a lot of that information and incorporate it into my education and my teaching. I was very fortunate to be recruited by BUHSD in 2005. And so as a result, I never really got to see what Barstow had to offer because it was another one of my dreams to teach where I graduated and worked with the teachers that were my teachers. But I've been at Victor High District ever since. I taught at Cobalt Middle School, Adelanto High School, Cobalt Institute of Math and Science. So I feel like I have a unique perspective of working in a program improvement middle school, a choice school, a high school, and of course every summer I revisit summer school or high schools as well. In addition to my education, I've also participated in a lot of things beyond working in the classroom. I've been department chair off and on for probably 5 to 7 years of my career. I've also been recognized as the District Employee of the Quarter. I've helped with the district writing math curriculum guides for various levels of math for middle school, 7th and 8th grade honors. I was instrumental in incorporating Pi Day into our school and making it, this is the 11th year anniversary of doing Pi Day activities at our school and getting funding for that. I've coached cross country. I just completed our 10th season. We built it up from the ground because that school was brand new. I've also been a proud academic pentathlon coach. My children, which are my heart, they inspired me by living their true selves. They inspired me to be the advisor for the LGBTQ club at my school because my kids had a very safe place, but I wanted to make sure that other kids at our school also felt safe and they had somewhere that they could go, and so we could work on things like that. My goals, if I were selected as a board member, I'd want to make sure that we're increasing our student performance, making sure that we're ensuring the safety of all stakeholders in the district. As I said before, focusing on results. But I also think there's already a lot of good things that are happening in this district. I think, as a product of Mr. Garvin's band, and seeing that band is still active in this community, whereas in my own district, I've kind of seen it dwindle. We kind of go through ebbs and flows. I love to see that we still have a very active band program here. We have a CTE program that's flourishing in this district. And, I not only do I want to see those things stay, but I want to continue them. And of course, our athletics program, which I grew up watching Friday Night Lights, and so I want to see those programs continue. That's it. Thank you.
All right. So we'll move into the questions.
Okay.
So what motivates you to want to become a board member?
I think I already spoiled that. But as I've mentioned before, I'm really invested in this district. I feel, as I said, the closer we get to this, the more I really want to do it. At first, I was like, I could do that. That would be fun. But now I really start to feel like I would want to be a person on this board and helping to lead the change in this district.
Thank you.
Mr. Nichols, what attributes are essential for success in school board members?
Thank you. So I think for a school board member to be successful, especially to an already established place, they want to make sure that they're coming to the meetings prepared. I've worked with the board in our district for a number of years in their capacity.
No.
So I think just making sure that you're prepared with the materials, asking questions when you're not quite sure. I think being not afraid to make a courageous decision and have those courageous discussions, because recognizing that something that might be for the good of the district might not be for the best for certain stakeholders, but knowing that we're all operating to improve our students.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Nichols. What do you think is expected of you as a board member?
Regular attendance at meetings, obviously, collaborating with, my fellow board members at the, at meetings, working with the superintendent if I have questions. As I said before, being prepared, making sure I understand the budget and board policies and, board activities that we already have in place. And just making sure that I'm present and asking questions and being involved.
Thank you.
How would you handle requests if approached by an individual in a community or special interest groups?
Well, I think I would thank them for taking the time to talk to me, but remind them that I'm just one person on the board and I really cannot take any action. As myself, I would encourage them to talk to the superintendent or even bring it up to the public forum, but, you know, I would let them know that the Brown Act really does prohibit me from telling them any, you know, making any promises to them.
Thank you.
What is your vision for education in this community?
For me, I think the education in this community, it's again, recognizing what we already have and then continuing to improve it. Making sure that we're looking at what's working. If we have certain programs that really work, then let's emphasize them. If we have programs that are not working, maybe we can investigate other choices. But I think it's just a situation where we can see that all kids are improving and maybe supporting them through various tutoring initiatives or various remedial programs, anything that we can do to help to raise that level, because we want to make sure that our kids are graduating college and career ready and literate and able to be successful when they leave our program.
What are current challenges facing education / school boards?
Aside from like within the last 2 weeks, issues that are facing California education, I think in the long term, but long-term budgeting is always an issue. You know, I think it's interesting that we get funding for certain things, but there's so many strings that are attached to that funding, like ESSER funding and Prop 98 funding, and so a lot of it has strings attached to it. Where, you know, there's all this funding for music, and the public sees that, oh yeah, music is going to be funded, but it has to go to a lot of it has to go to new programs. It can't really fund existing programs, and can't really fund materials. It has to. So there's a lot of strings that are attached to this money that, you know, we want to spend on our students, and so sometimes it can be a little bit difficult. Or we have things like ESSER funding, which are one-time funds, and so, you know, they can't be used for long-term things. They have to be used for one-time expenditures. So that can really hamper a district when they're trying to keep the schools open and running and keep their staff happy.
What is your understanding of the role of superintendent?
Well, I think the superintendent is kind of the chief operating officer of the district, but she works under the board. She kind of works with the board to implement any decisions and policies that are created in this room. And you know, I think that she's kind of the conduit between the board and the employees and the public and the students.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see as the board's roles and responsibilities?
I think we're responsible for all stakeholders. We're responsible for our entire community, not just Area 5. You know, I would represent the entire community. And you know, it's a role and responsibility of keeping the district fiscally solvent, keeping our students learning and improving, making sure that our employees are satisfied and are supporting our students. So it's a really big role, but I feel like that's something that this board can work on, can do.
If appointed, will you seek to continue as a trustee in the next election?
Yes. With the caveat that if I felt that I was actually serving this district and doing a good job, then I would definitely want to continue that. But I mean, as I stated earlier, this is kind of a dream of mine. And so, you know, if I'm in the seat, I plan to do a good job and keep doing a good job as long as I feel like I am.
Is there any additional information you would like to share with the panel?
Yeah, like I said, in my own closing statements or just in general?
Either or, they're kind of,
You know, I kind of feel like I kind of blew through a lot of my activities and things, and you know, I just want to make sure that the board knows that you know I do feel prepared. I worked regularly with the board at in Victor Union High School District. I know it's a tough decision for you guys tonight. I am prepared and knowledgeable and ready to step into this role if selected. I regularly attend board meetings at my district as part of my capacity, and you know, and like I said, I have positive relations and communications with those board members, and so I would hope to bring that in over here. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Nichols, can we have questions back?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought those were mine. I'm glad I didn't write on them.
He didn't want me to answer.
Hello, Ms. Wheeler. You may begin with an opening statement if you'd like.
This would be something different for me. I'm not attempted to be on a board of any school district ever. But I was told there's need. So I'm just gonna give it the best I can. This will be a learning process for me. Like I said, I've not tried to get on any school board before. So it's something new.
Thank you. What motivates you to become a board member?
Well, I know it's not about me. It's about the kids and giving them the best possible education that they possibly can get while they are able to attend school. If you look at the news can sometimes be troubling because there's so much going on outside. And we just want schools to be better.
Thank you.
Ms. Wheeler, what attributes are essential for success as a school board member?
To know what's going on with the schools themselves, what their shortcomings may be, if there are things that can be corrected and or revised. And staying in touch with the board members as well as the students and the teachers.
Sweeler, what do you think is expected of you as a board member?
Well, to try and do the best possible job that I possibly can. Stay in touch with what's going on with the schools themselves, the teachers, and possibly the students as well. Making sure that they have what is necessary to excel. Like I said, this is all new to me, so I'm running kind of blind. So I'm just gonna answer the best way I know how. To be honest.
No, you're fine. How would you handle requests if approached by an individual in the community or special interest groups?
I would let them know that I do not have the final say-so, and that I would have to talk to the other board members and superintendent. And I don't have the final say-so. I will listen to what that person says, take notes, and bring it back to the board.
Thank you.
Ms. Wheeler, what is your vision for education in this community?
What I've seen in the community that I'm in is the lack of activities outside of school for the kids. I grew up in Barstow. I left for a while and came back, and there's still not a whole lot of activities for the kids outside of school. I see them all hours of the night just walking the streets. To me, it may be productive to them, but it's not a good look. There should be other avenues outside of the school that will keep the kids occupied and want to do more to better themselves.
What are the challenges facing education/school boards?
Budget. Budget. What I've seen and heard is they have allocated X amount of dollars, but sometimes those funds have other things tied to them. So all the funds are not going where they should go. Budget just seems to be a big issue. It's a huge issue.
What is your understanding of the role of the superintendent?
Superintendent, I believe, is
the head of the board, but shouldn't be making all the decisions by him or herself without the board involved.
Thank you.
What do you see as the board's roles and responsibilities?
To make the school districts as best as they possibly can. Make sure the children are heard, the teachers are also heard. Try and correct anything that they see not going in the right direction. And communicating with each other.
If appointed, will you seek to continue as a trustee in the next election?
If I believe I have made strides to better the community, then yes. And if I'm still here. I'm just being honest. Just being honest.
Is there any additional information you would like to share with the panel?
I have never backed down from a challenge. And this would be a challenge because this is completely out of my comfort zone. So, you're never too old to learn. And I'm here for it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Ms. Wheeler. You can join.
Thank you.
The audience.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Hildreth, at this time, I will give you and the board a few minutes to review your dates. Please let me know when you would like.
That's serious. I'm not here.
I'll begin with Mr. Hel. Well, at this time, I will announce your name and ask you to name the candidate you would like to nominate for appointment for trustee area 5. Mr. Hildreth.
Before I say my choice, I just want to first just thank all three of you for coming. I know it's hard to put yourself out there and speak in front of people. And I do appreciate everything that all of you are doing in all of your own ways, in your capacities in this community. And so I do thank all of you for coming out. And for my vote will be Mr. Williams.
Mr. Perea.
I also vote for Mr. Williams.
Mr. Eastless.
Also, I would like to say that it does take a lot of courage to come out here and stand before us and answer questions. And I think it even takes a whole lot more intestinal fortitude to put your name on a ballot and run, you know, and all three of us here, we know what that entails, you know, and I appreciate you guys' time, and even if you guys aren't appointed tonight, I encourage you to come to more meetings and show your face and stuff. But all three of you were great, and I'm gonna cast my vote for Mr. Williams.
Mr. Hildreth. Leonard Williams has received 3 nominations from the board. I would like to turn the meeting back over to you to call for a motion, a second, and a vote on the appointment of Leonard Williams to Trustee Area 5.
Okay. So for L12, board member appointment, trustee area 5, do I have a motion?
I move that Mr. Williams be appointed as trustee for area number 5.
I say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Hildreth and the board, thank you for your appointment. At this time, I would like to call Leonard Williams up to the dais, and I will administer the oath of office.
Have the. This is the license.
Oh, I just need to review.
Yep. That and done.
Thank you.
It is.
Yep. Okay.
Mr. Williams. Congratulations. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Leonard Williams,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties on which I am about to enter. Thank you. Thank you.
Aboard.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Guys. All right. It is 5:53 and we're going to take a brief recess.
we're going to put the names of Elizabeth Gibbons and Paul Heatley into the jar. What did it say?
I probably shouldn't touch stuff.
You're the last one to pick.
Elizabeth. Thank you. So Elizabeth will be number one, and Mr. Heatley, if you would wait outside in the lobby. I think that's how we started the last time. Promise it's totally random. Seconds. Okay. Oops, wrong button. You're good. Okay. Ms. Gibbons, you may start with opening statement if you'd like.
Hi everyone again. We're here again. I don't want to take a lot of time talking about myself. I'm invested in the Barstow community. I founded a nonprofit here that we're running, and we do target our low income and at-risk youth and their families. So I believe I said to the board with the lived experience that I come with, coming from poverty myself, and being able to connect with our residents and teaching them life skills. I believe it's very important that we know how to connect to those who are not able to connect by other means. And I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Based on your experience with Barstow Unified School District, what would you consider to be a recent district accomplishment?
I would say the internet campus. I think it's impressive. It's just unprecedented from what I've seen in districts lately. Being able to take that age group and isolate them and give them their own school ground is really imperative to preventative behavior issues, which we know the district has issues with. So I think that was one of the strongest things I've seen come out of the district lately is being able to take the 5th and 6th grade population and give them their own campus.
Thank you.
Ms. Gibbons, how does an effective school board ensure opportunities for parents and community members to express their diverse views, to inform board deliberations on important policy issues?
I think it's important the way we communicate with our parents. A lot of the parents maybe fall into a category where simple communication may suffice for them to communicate their needs or issues, but we have to be able to connect with those who may not have the reading comprehension, for example, reading a handout that's sent out. So I think we need to expand what we've already started with like Parent Square, Peach Jar, other features that we've used, and maybe simplifying them for parents who may not read, parents who may speak English as a second language. Some of those features that we can implement to strengthen our communication, our parents need to be able to communicate the way that they know how. And that may be in person, that may be a survey, that may be incentives. Different options that we can keep available for our families, I think would help them be able to address their issues.
Good evening. Identify a recent school board decision that you felt strongly about and describe how you would balance community concerns, student needs, state and federal law, staff considerations, and your own personal values and beliefs to determine how you vote on the issue.
I'm trying to take it in pieces. Sorry, I apologize. Okay. I kind of feel strongly about the DOJ kind of overseeing a lot of the disciplinary actions that were taken by the school district. And I somewhat agree with them because there's point and purpose in what they're doing, but it kind of ties the district, it ties the board as to what options we can take to really educate or address the discipline issues that we have. I do agree that we should take a restorative approach to helping those children that are not able to come to school and behave. So one of the decisions I think that I would want to address is how we approach the restorative approaches to handling the students' needs. How would you balance community concerns? Community concerns are always around, and as a board, we represent our constituents. So it's our responsibility to listen to them and bring their concerns to the board. But I think it's best to have safe space, have the opportunity for our parents, for the children to reflect to us what they feel they need or need to be supported. State and federal law is something else. So I really do believe that the district would be better off, we will be better off when we strengthen our community partnerships. It's not up to the district to handle all the issues that are happening outside of the school hours. We're tied by ed code. There's a lot of things that are happening that the district can't really get involved in, but community partners can. And that could be a religious organization, that could be a nonprofit, that may be our police department. There's different agencies amongst us that we need to strengthen, even reaching out to the welfare office. There's different avenues that we can use to leverage being able to connect with the parents and being able to relate to them, their need to facilitate what we're teaching at home as well. It says, and personal beliefs. My personal values are just more about, quality over quantity. I don't really think that my personal beliefs should play a part in what we're doing here. It should be more about the greater good. So I would reserve any personal beliefs against anything on the board. And that's how my vote would go. My vote would go based on the greater good.
My turn. Ms. Gibbons, what would you do if you believed an administrator had not provided you with the accurate and complete information for making a decision?
I would ask for follow-up. Based on the rules or regulation, I would want to be compliant, but whatever information is missing or lacking, whatever within protocol, I would ask for more information, more details on how I can make a decision.
What are the objectives of a board meeting?
One forum, so that's important, showing up, making sure we're all here present. But going through our agenda and consenting to what we need to consent to and discussing what needs to be discussed and ultimately making the decision that best serves our children and our families.
Thank you.
Describe a good board meeting.
One like right now. This is perfect. A good board meeting is just really sticking to the agenda, making sure we're aligned with everything we're supposed to do. A good board meeting is discussion. It may be times where, you don't see eye to eye, you don't agree, but we need to listen to each other respectfully and then ultimately collectively make the best decision. I always say the doctor anecdote that you're making prescriptions with the idea will do better than harm. So just being a part of that and facilitating the decisions for our district and our family.
What will you do to become a more efficient board member?
I think training, I think whatever needs to be done for me to understand the full scope of our responsibilities, I want to take that very seriously. And I also want to engage with the community partners that we know exist here. There are a lot of agencies that could, again, we can use this leverage to help us with our issues that we need to address. So I think being a better board member would be making sure I understand my responsibilities and then ensuring that we can connect with those who can support us as well.
Ms. Gibbons, what would you like to accomplish during your time as a board member?
I would like to accomplish more equity, more more kids going to college, more kids with an opportunity. I think the district, we're pretty good at taking care of our academics, taking care of our sports, but there are a lot of children that fall in the gap. There's a lot of children that are C and D students, and we need to create a path for them to self-sufficiency in adulthood. So as a board member, I'd like to see us strengthen our community, because when we strengthen these kids and their families, we're able to, see a reduction in crime. We'll see better behaviors at school. So I think here as a board member, I would just like to be a part of seeing that evolution for those who tend to fall behind.
Those are all the questions, Ms. Gibbons. If you'd like to provide a closing statement.
Thank you guys for having me again. I really do appreciate the opportunity, and I look forward to being a part.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can say, yes.
Welcome back, Mr. Hinckley. You may start with an opening statement if you'd like.
Got it. Well, thank you for having me again with the chance to speak to you guys briefly. And so I've been deeply involved with this community and district as a coach, tutor, mentor. And so I've seen firsthand the challenges that these students face, and also the impact that strong leadership can have in leading these to success. I'm passionate about making sure that all students have the resources, support, and opportunities that they need to thrive. Apart from my coaching, I have had the opportunity to work with a lot of kids from this program that my parents run at the church called Celebrate Recovery. And it's a 12-step program, and basically it's all about helping families rebuild their lives together. So a lot of those kids have just the toughest situations. We got parents barely getting custody back of their kids, and families they're just working to rebuild that trust. And so I've had the opportunity to provide tutoring, mentoring, and guidance to these kids, and just kind of provide a sense of support through critical moments in their lives. And I think that's what has, reaffirmed my belief that the right resources and a strong support system can really, change the direction of a child's future. With my background in real estate, mortgage lending, and just community engagement, I bring a skill set of data-driven decision-making, effective communication, and teamwork. And so I understand the importance of balancing community concerns, financial responsibility, and long-term planning to make informed decisions to put these kids and staff in the best position to succeed. I'm here because I believe in the power of education to change lives. And so I want to be part of a board that makes thoughtful, transparent, and effective decisions to put the kids in a position to succeed, and also drive our district through the growth and challenges that are ahead.
Thank you. Based on your experience with Barstow Unified School District, what would you consider to be a recent district accomplishment?
So a recent accomplishment that I feel strongly about is the implementation of Parent Square. Based in my roles of coach, tutor, I've seen firsthand the impact this has had on the parents staying informed and engaged.
As a coach, I use Parent Square to make sure that my players and parents stay informed on important news and updates and schedules. And then with the younger students that I tutor, you can really notice the difference in how prepared the students are when their parents actually have real-time access to the information about their education. I think that an informed parent creates a prepared student, and that's one of the keys to addressing what I feel is one of the biggest issues in education today, which is the lack of parental involvement. So Parent Square does a really good job at creating more meaningful touch points between the schools and the families, and it helps bridge the gap that can be caused by time constraints, work schedules, and just the limitations of parent-teacher conferences.
Thank you.
Mr. Hafley, how does an effective school board ensure opportunities for parents and community members to express their diverse views, to inform board deliberations on important policy issues?
Got it. So I will start. I think that Barstow Unified has done a lot of good at improving community engagement and transparency through like the live streaming and recording the board meetings, and also just providing a public discussion forum. But I also feel that accessibility is not effective without awareness. And so you can have the best tools for engagement, but if people aren't aware of the tools that exist or how to use them, then it's not impactful. And so I think it's similar to my experience in real estate and lending. So there's so many great loan programs and tools out there to make it easier to purchase homes, but people feel like buying a home is just out of reach for them because they don't know what resources exist. And that's similar to what Barstow Unified has done. They've removed a lot of the barriers for engaging, but people might not know about all these tools that they have access to. So unfortunately, so I think the biggest victim of something like this would be the more disenfranchised, low resource families. They also happen to be the ones that need the most support. And, parents out working long hours make it hard to actually attend board meetings. And so if they're not aware of the tools that exist, then their voices and the needs of their children will go unheard. So I think a good way to build on the efforts that has already been made by the district are by promoting more awareness for what's available and direct outreach. You could use Parent Square notifications and possibly maybe an increased social media presence. And then these changes could, allow for more meaningful input.
Thank you.
Mr. Higley, identify a recent board decision that you felt strongly about and describe how you would balance committee concerns, student needs, state and federal laws, staff considerations, your own personal values and beliefs to determine how you vote on issues.
So I think it might not be tied to just a single recent decision, but I do feel strongly about any decision related to implementing and expanding PBIS within the district. Because PBIS is just all about positive behavior reinforcement and student support, trying to improve school climate and just make a more inclusive environment. And I think my favorite thing about PBIS is that it's backed by tons of data showing that it's effective in reducing disciplinary issues and also improving academic outcomes. And so from a community standpoint, you speak with parents and students and you say, you ask them about the current disciplinary actions that are being used in the district and find ways that PBIS can help address any existing gaps. For students, It's all about improving their daily lives and putting them in the best position that we can to succeed. And then staff considerations. They're the ones that are actually out in the field putting this into action. And so they see what works, what doesn't work. And so it's crucial to hear what they have to say, and their buy-in is essential if we're going to actually make those improvements. PBIS actually supports the state and federal goals of promoting equity in education and also reducing disciplinary disparities. And as for my personal values, I'm huge on fostering success, putting them in the best position to succeed and letting them thrive, as well as making decisions based on data-driven research. So that would strongly guide my decision.
Mr. Hapley, what would you do if you believe that administrator had not provided you with accurate and complete information for making a decision?
Got it. Yeah, so my background in data analysis has taught me that incomplete or incorrect information can actually be way worse than having no data at all, because you can just make decisions based on false assumptions. So the most important thing is just take a step back, seek some clarity, and make sure that there's transparency throughout the process. So first thing I do is go straight to that administrator and kind of work on clarifying any misconceptions and then ask if they have any additional or supporting data. Then I work with the superintendent to make sure that there's a transparent process through which the data is verified and cross-validated. And then I would advocate for the board to promote improvements on how we receive and review data. And with the goal just being to put ourselves in the best position to be able to make well-informed, data-driven decisions consistently.
What are the objectives of a board meeting?
So the primary objective of a board meeting is to set the direction and policies that guide the district. It's the board's responsibility to establish policies and district goals that support short-term and long-term success of students and our staff. Another objective is accountability, making sure that district operations, financial decisions, and academic outcomes meet state and federal requirements, but also it's important that we have them reflect the needs of the students as well. That's something that's super important to me because in my time working with these students, I've seen how the decisions made up top can directly impact these kids in the classroom, on the field, and beyond. And so I also, the board meeting serves as a platform for community engagement and transparency. So it's the board's responsibility to make all the final decisions, but it's just as important that we listen to the staff, educators, the parents. And I think that being an advocate for the students means that we have to make sure that their families are informed and involved. And board meetings provide a structured environment for those conversations. And also, a board meeting is where decisions are made through structured governance. You take the recommendations of the superintendent and administration, and you review them and vote on them in a way that benefits the whole district. Thank you.
Mr. Hafley, describe a good board meeting.
Yeah. Well, obviously going off the last question, a good board meeting is one where you efficiently achieve those objectives: transparency, accountability, setting goals for the district. I think agreement is not always necessary, but effective communication is, and teamwork. So a board board members should be able to discuss different issues in competent professional ways and then make sure that all the different viewpoints are heard and considered. And I think that working through disagreements respectfully actually leads to stronger decisions and just creates a stronger team. I think when another part of a good board meeting is when parents, community members, they understand the decision-making process of the board, and they can feel confident that the discussions behind those decisions are centered around students and student success, because that's the whole reason why any of us are here. And so I think clear policies, structured discussion, and effective teamwork are what make a meeting productive and impactful.
What will you do to become more effective as a board member?
I think part of what it takes to become more effective as a board member is continuous learning and adaptability, especially right now. We all know Barstow is getting ready to undergo some massive changes and developments. And so the landscape of education is also constantly evolving. And so I think it's important for me to not only stay informed about district policies, but just overall citywide initiatives, because those could also affect students and our schools. And so with that kind of broader picture, it can make it easier for you to make well-informed decisions that foster success within the district, but also provide support for the city's future growth. And then on top of that, strengthening relationships with fellow board members. My time as a coach has taught me that the best teams thrive on trust, communication, and just knowing the strengths and weaknesses of your fellow board members. And so I'll take the time to kind of get to know and learn from my colleagues. That way we can come together and form a team that can collaborate, making decisions that benefit everyone.
Okay. What would you like to accomplish during your time as a board member?
So I think that effective leadership is measured by concrete results. And so my goal as a board member would be to drive measurable improvements across the district. And so I want to, I guess, help start a culture shift through improved student achievement, higher test scores. And like I mentioned last time, the big issue of the high turnover rate, because these kids deserve a little more consistency in their life. I also would strive for a reduction in disciplinary issues through effective policies like PBIS, because it's important to have a safe, structured, inclusive environment so that both students and staff can thrive. Beyond academics, I'm a huge proponent of extracurriculars, so I want to be able to expand access to arts, sports, and like career and technical education, because I think being part of that type of stuff is what gives you a sense of belonging and just teaches you lifelong lessons. And then also, like I mentioned, for the expanding landscape right now of Barstow, big changes on the horizon. So I think I'd like to have some forward-thinking initiative on infrastructure, staffing, curriculum changes so that we can meet the evolving needs of the community and our students.
Mr. Hafley, this would be time for a closing statement if you have one.
Got it. I think that serving on the board is more than about making decisions. You're shaping the future of the district and the community. And so my experience in coaching, community engagement, and just strategic decision making gives me a set of skills so that I can be an effective board member who listens, collaborates, and takes action on behalf of the students. I think that it's important for us to make sure that all students have access to the resources and opportunities that they need to succeed. And thank you for your consideration. It'd be an honor to sort of make a difference.
Thank you.
Mr. Hildreth, at this time, I will give you and the board a few minutes to review your rate sheets. Just let me know when you would like me to call for a vote.
For sure. This case needed. Okay.
All right. Mr. Hildreth, at this time, I will announce your name and ask you to name the candidate you would like to nominate for appointment for trustee area 1.
I just wanted to reiterate my comments from the first time. Thank you both, and I'm upset at both of you for making my decision so difficult. You both did a great job, and again, same thing as I said to everybody else, I do appreciate everything you do for the community, regardless of the outcome here. Thank you for everything that you guys do, and I appreciate you coming out. For my vote, I'll choose Mr. Higley.
I also appreciate both of you coming out. It's not easy sitting here in front of us. My vote is for Ms. Gibbons.
Also want to thank both of you for being kind of quick because I want to go watch Jeopardy. I'm on a roll. I got 2 right yesterday. And my vote will be for Mrs. Gibbons.
Well, that's the new person sitting up here. Thank you both for coming out. It's fantastic. But I vote for Mrs. Gibbons.
Mr. Hildreth, Elizabeth Gibbons has received 3 nominations from the board. I would like to turn the meeting back over to you to call for a motion, second, and vote on the appointment of Elizabeth Gibbons to trustee area 1. Once approved by the board, Mr. Hildreth and the, I'm sorry. Stop.
All right.
Too fast.
For L1, L1 for board member appointments for trustee area 1. Do we have a motion for Elizabeth Gibbons?
I'll make the motion.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Hildreth and the board, thank you for your appointment. At this time, I would like to call Elizabeth Gibbons up to the dais, and I will administer the oath of office. Congratulations. Thank you. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Elizabeth Gibbons,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties in which I'm about to enter. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you approach the dais. Coming around this way.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any items for future board meetings? You good?
No.
Okay. And do we need to go back to closed session?
No, we did not.
And it is 6:38. Oh. Do we need to have motion second? Sorry. Motion and second to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
And now it's 6:38. Thank you.